But let's start by talking about some of the recent cases in the news, like the case of Monica Sanchez, a 21-year-old teacher's aide in Kilgore, Texas. Sanchez was arrested last month after admitting to having sex with 3 different students. She told police that she'd had sex with one 18-year-old boy 5 or 6 times last winter. Sanchez also admitted to encounters with another 18-year-old in March and a 3rd student last summer who was just 15 years old at the time of the incident. Now, you might be wondering about the scars you see here in Sanchez's mugshot. According to the arrest affidavit, Sanchez hit a woman in the face during an unrelated incident in a restaurant parking lot. While conducting interviews following the incident, police became aware of the allegations against the teacher's aide and began to investigate. After being confronted with the accusations, Sanchez admitted to the encounters with the 3 boys. Sanchez was immediately fired, and as a result of a state law signed by Governor Greg Abbott back in 2017, which increased penalties for educators who commit these types of assaults, she potentially faces as much as 20 years on each of 3 counts of improper relationship between educator and student. Governor Abbott's called teachers assaulting students a, quote, statewide plague in Texas. The law not only calls for heavy punishments for the teachers, it also calls for jail time for any Texas school administrator who turns a blind eye toward these incidents. Texas, not the only state where this keeps happening. Florida has had a pair of high-profile teacher sex misconduct cases over the past month, including Julie Kinsey Hoover, a 38-year-old math teacher at a private Christian school in Perry, Florida, arrested last week in connection with lewd text messages she allegedly exchanged with one of her male students. Hoover and the student allegedly traded sexts over a period of 2 months in March and April. At the time, the student was enrolled in multiple classes with Hoover. According to the arrest affidavit, the student's mother contacted the sheriff's department in early June after discovering the messages. The mother told authorities that Hoover was making arrangements to sneak the student into her home while her husband was at work. The teacher's been charged on 1 count of an authority figure soliciting or engaging in sex with a student and is facing up to 15 years behind bars. Then there's Pennsylvania music teacher Olivia Orts, who was arrested for her alleged sexual relationship with a female student. 26-year-old teacher was charged on May 13th with institutional sex assault, unlawful contact with a minor, criminal use of a communication facility. She remained at large for several days before authorities eventually tracked her down. Now, New Wilmington Police Chief Carmen Picarillo told us how his department learned that Orts was actually performing at a chorus concert while allegedly evading law enforcement.
Didn't know where she was Friday night after the charges were filed, and we weren't certain where she was on Saturday. And it was only inadvertently that we learned that she was at a choral concert in a municipality next door to where she was living on Sunday afternoon. One of the local newspaper reporters, not as a part of an assignment, but just something she had done on her own, had gone to the choral concert and discovered her name was on the program.
Now, authorities actually learned of the relationship after Orts' husband, a contract employee with the school district, reached out to the principal when he found evidence on an iPad. The police's month-long investigation uncovered texts and love letters between the two. The pair had also communicated through numerous social media channels, including the music app Spotify. They even came up with a code word, fried rice, in the event either thought anyone was onto them. According to authorities, Orts continued to contact the student even after she learned of the investigation. Eventually, the student admitted to the relationship, telling police she'd stayed at Orts' house multiple nights while her husband was out of town. Now, as in many of these incidents, one of the hard parts for authorities is actually keeping the student and the teacher apart after they learn of the relationship. Chief Picarillo talked about how his department planned to address that concern in the Orts case.
Charges have been filed. Olivia Orts, the defendant, is out on bond. There's a no contact order in effect to hopefully prevent the two of them from communicating any further. And then we see what happens in court.
Then there's Jasper County, Missouri, home to two recent bizarre female teacher male student incidents. J.C. Bain Collins, a 22-year-old substitute teacher, was arrested a few months back for sexual contact with a student. Authorities say Collins went to the student's house when his parents weren't there and had sex with him. The two continued to communicate for months via text and social media before the student eventually told authorities about the relationship. Collins has been charged with a Class E felony, which could result in a maximum of 4 years. But that's 4 years more than another Jasper County teacher is eligible for in a bizarre case after charges were dropped against her. Jasper County prosecutors abandoned the case against 26-year-old Bailey Turner earlier this year. Turner, an English teacher, was accused of having sex with one of her male students back in 2019. But the reason the county dropped the charges? Turner and the student got married. Prosecutors said the marriage made the case impossible to prove, as the student was able to invoke spousal privilege to avoid testifying. So Turner is now free from prosecution. What they will do for love. Thank you for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.